So I'm going to actually go ahead and hand this over to Justin.
All right, thank you, Deb. Okay. All right, so I got 3 back-to-back-to-back presentations for each of some of our software products built here with the software development team. So we're going to open up with TreeKeeper 8. So for those of us that are just learning about this the first time, TreeKeeper 8 is a web-accessible GIS-capable data management system. It's got a fully customizable data structure that's set to track, that can be used to track points, lines, and polygons. There's a tabular data grid, so you can work with the data in more of a spreadsheet format if you wanted. There's a report writer built into the software, so you can design and lay out your own reports. There's robust permission levels for users and user groups, so if a system's tracking multiple layers, you can restrict which layers certain users have access to. And then finally, a strong integration with our field collection tools, Rover and Resource Keeper. So it's one code base, but really it's 3 brands. We have the TreeKeeper 8 brand, which is targeted towards urban forestry management. So street trees, college campuses, cemeteries, invasive pest responses, a lot of those projects will be under the TreeKeeper 8 umbrella. We also have the MyRowKeeper brand, which is leveraged towards utility vegetation management, as well as some utility asset management as well. So the Exactor projects, for example, are ran through MyRowKeeper. Utility vegetation management work prescriptions are handled through MyRowKeeper. And then finally, the Asset Manager brand, we're bringing this one back, and we're targeting towards public works asset data. So, agencies that need to manage, street lights or park assets. We've got our first customer for that. So all together, about 428 users using these 3 products. So with so many users using it, a lot of our development focus is about quality of life improvements. Those users will, as they're using it, they'll identify like places that the program could be optimized or where it's not acting quite the way it should be. And so over the past 6 months, the software development team has resolved 178 issues that were brought to us by project coordinators, customers, business developers. Some of those highlights also include like just reorganizing the layout of the screen. So our target platform for this is a desktop computer, but we also wanted it to look good on an iPad, like an iPad mini at minimum, an iPad Pro preferably. And so we had to do a little bit of reworking on the way that the information is laid out on the screen to manage that. So it is a viable field solution as long as you have web accessibility. So TreeKeeper 8 does not have an offline component to it. But if you are in the field with an iPad and you have 3G or 4G connectivity or connected to a MiFi box, you can access the inventory. It's geolocation aware. You can plot where you are standing on the map and use it to do some work with the real data outside. Cross-layer searching was something that we incorporated into the system, and this is the ability to be able to search multiple layers at one time with different parameters. So shared attributes across multiple layers, for example. So for a city program that's tracking street trees and park trees, to be able to search for species against both those layers at once so they can see where all their ash trees are. Or on a utility system, work maybe by common circuits or by common work status. The software can also handle transfer values, which is more or less just a spatial assignment of data as you add it to the system. So if you add a tree, in this example, it derived the address based on the nearby parcel. It derived the district based on a district-based layer. It derived the zip code based on a zip code-based layer. And it also brought up a neighborhood as well. So the idea of being able to set up these transfer values to really streamline data entry on the system. And then another accomplishment that we've just done, and I don't want to understate just how powerful it is, even though it's kind of a boring slide. We built a RESTful API, which we call internally the daily views, and it's hosted at data.treekeepersoftware.com. And what this allows us to do is serve our data in a variety of different formats, including PDFs, HTML, Excel spreadsheets, or JSON objects. And then we can automate sending emails through this mechanism. So if a customer asks us, hey, I want to get a nightly email of all my high priority or imminent threats in the system, we've automated that process of producing that report as an Excel spreadsheet or as a PDF and sending that attachment in an email on a scheduled basis. And this opens us up for a lot of different opportunities. One, that framework for sending emails based off our underlying data, which we had a lot of requests for. Automating the raw data into extraction into other products like Google Sheets or Excel or Smartsheet SAS. So the fact that the daily view serves the data as a JSON object makes that type of integration extremely easy. We have quite a few projects where they open a Google Sheet, they hit a button, and it just automatically ingests the data from RowKeeper. And then finally, with the ability to serve that data as JSON format, it really opens us up to good opportunities for third-party integrations with other products such as CityWorks, Cartograph, EcoLayers, localized GIS systems. A lot of power behind this little boring slide. Now, if you have some questions about TreeKeeper 8 or you're using it and you have some general support questions, well, I just want to draw your attention to the support portal that's available at the very top. You click the little question mark. That'll open the DRG support portal. And from there, you have options to submit a support ticket, as well as navigate through some of the categories where we have existing documentation. You can also start typing in. It's pretty slick. If you have questions about work records, you start typing in work records and it'll start presenting you with articles that match work records. And then from a business development perspective, since we have this product that's built around 3 different markets, for the TreeKeeper 8 urban forestry market, we have Jim Kozak and Dan Banzak available to help. On the RowKeeper perspective, Justin Walters. And then on the asset manager, John Woodward. And then out of any outside the box ideas that you might have in mind, like I've heard things like Basin Keeper and Green Resource Keeper and all sorts of cool ideas around our ecological, Deb Sheeler would probably be your best person to reach out to find out about the viability of TreeKeeper 8. All right. Thanks, everyone. That was a very quick, it's hard to summarize 6 months of development in just 5 minutes. So Eric Van Warmer asked, have you looked into incorporating Google Data Studio with RowKeeper for reporting? Not directly, Eric, but I've heard a lot about some of the cool things that you've done with Google Data Studio. That's a big reason why we built the daily views. The idea of the daily views is to be able to build this generalized platform that you can call and pull data out of our back-end systems and feed into products like Google Data Studio.